Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another video. I am Angelus, your mindset coach, instructor, and trainer. I am all about training your brain. We got a lot of gurus out there, a lot of exercise instructors and coaches that are just excellent to exercise your body, and whatever part of the body needs more exercise or more developing or toning. But a lot of people don't understand that the brain is also a muscle and it needs to be also exercised, trained to perform and function the way we would like it to be, just like any bodily muscle, your arms, your legs, your chest, your back, your shoulders. So this video today is about continuing that training your brain program. But we want to stick to a specific topic today, and that topic is thoughtfulness or intentionality, or being intentional with your life. We've heard those words and terms before, but we don't really know exactly understand what they mean. At least some of us don't. For me, just to let you know, this is more for the business people out there, the business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. But for those of you that just want to do it for the, enjoy life to its fullest and have more success in their social part of their life, their social grids, their spiritual life, whatever, your hobbies, this is just as successful for that as it is for, just business folks. So if you're not here for business, don't worry. This runs the gamut, alpha to omega. So let's start. Before I can actually tell you what it means to be thoughtful during the day, or be mindful, or intentional, those are the key words to this. You have to understand what is it that you have to put your focus on, because all three words indicate one thing: focus. Why do you have to focus on something? You're focusing on something to get an end result. That's all we're doing. If your life is exactly the way you like it, if your life is exactly the way you desire it, you have joy in it, you even have happiness in it, everything's going according to plan, this video is not for you. Leave now. For those of you who, for some reason, have trouble grasping at success financially or in their personal lives, for some reason, you have maybe these negative thoughts that pop into your head every time you make an attempt to go forwards in some direction, a new future, a new way, a new desire to take on a new type of power for yourself. And you get these resistance, you get self-sabotaging, you get, what's the other way? You get all these negative vibes or self-talk, and your self-esteem level goes down. And then you kind of, change your mind about going in that direction. There's a reason for all that. And the reason for all that is the difference between your conscious and your unconscious mind. Now, this is a big subject. I actually have a course on it for 6 months, but we're gonna give you an introduction to it so you understand, get the basics. I'm not talking about unconscious on philosophical or not a philosophical, psychological or psychology version level. We're not talking about the id. We're not talking about subconscious or unconscious. And in those respects, there's different levels to the unconscious. And we're not going to get metaphysical. I'm not going to talk about the superconscious or the God conscious or anything like that. We're going to simply stick to the basic two consciousness that we are more familiar with, or at least we depend on a daily basis. We can't live without these two immediate consciousness. Never mind about the rest, up or down. Your unconscious mind is defined here, so you understand it, not to be confused with anything else. It's just all your programming from the time you were young, maybe-ish, I would say 3-ish, to the time you reached your 30th birthday. Some do it a little earlier than that, but usually you don't finish this program until you're at least in your mid-20s. But it's about almost a couple of decades worth of programming, okay? A couple decades, excuse me. So this programming is, combination of your upbringing, your schooling, combination of your thoughts and beliefs about things, your perceptions on things, your your stories that you create inside your mind due to episodes that happen in your life. These things are all contribute to this programming called the unconscious mind. And this unconscious mind, the purpose of it is for one reason only, to help you to live and align yourself with the lifestyle that you, and the lifestyle means work and social and everything, that you desire the most. So that's its only purpose. Keep you alive and keep you aligned with what you term as success. That's it. That basic. Doesn't think of it as a program, like a machine, you're programming a computer. All right. And this program is set for only one thing, for you to succeed at something that you first programmed it for. Now, of course, starting out from age 3 up to about 20 to 30, you're all about going to school, going to college perhaps, or trade school or whatever, get certified in something, moving on to your dream job or jobs, and that's about it. That's what the program was written for. That's the only reason why it was written for. And it does a superb job if you don't change your mind. So if you want to live that way, that lifestyle that it's created from that program for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live, you won't have any upsets. Success will basically follow you wherever you go, no matter what you do. And it won't matter how much you're educated or not educated. It won't matter how much job skills you have, or tools in your toolbox, and attributes and skill sets. It won't matter that. You'll still be successful. Now, I did give you a glimpse into the opposite. Let's just say you change your mind along the way. You no longer wish to be in that job, or you want to go into a business of your own, be your own boss, or you got fired. Health hazard, not health hazard as much as wake up call in your health. You got sick, something happened. You get divorced. You get married. It has to be a major emotional change for you. Things happened, or you chose a different path from the path you were on. And I've seen this to people. I've surveyed people, and the science shows this, that once you change your path in life, you have to change the program. Now, that sounds very common sense, but most people don't realize the devastation that happens when you don't make a conscious attempt to reprogram the mind. And this is how it is. So now something happened, change your life, path is going a different way. Not a big deal. You adapt, you compensate. Maybe you have to learn new skill sets. Maybe you have to learn a new way of communication, whatever. But the unconscious mind that you have created, this perfect program, is only made to help you stay with a certain parameters of your success. Now you're telling it to work outside its parameters. It can't do it by itself. So the science has showed, surveys have showed, that on the average day, a person waking, conscious, awake, they're thinking about anywhere to 80 to 90,000 thoughts a day. I don't know how they measure that, but that's been proven, validated over and over. You can go Google it. 80 to 90,000 average a day for the average person. Here's where it gets funny. Majority of people, not all, majority of people, 90% of those thoughts are not theirs. So as you're walking through your day, if you're awake for 8 to 10, 12, 13 hours, 10% of your thoughts that are coming through your brain, physical brain, is not your conscious desire, not your conscious thought. They're just happening automatically. Now here's the rub. This is what's going to cook your noodle, if you haven't heard this before. 90% of those words that are coming through are negative for the average person. When I first heard that, it really amazed me. That was very profound for me. So why does it have to be negative? Why can't they be positive? For the exception, which I mentioned earlier, if you're if you're happy with your life the way it is, and you don't change, you don't need to change, and everything's going fine, you won't have, those people don't suffer from these negative thoughts. Why? Most others and few don't? Well, the thing is, the negative thoughts are coming from the fact that your program is trying its very hardest to bring you back in alignment with its program. And we call this the unconscious mind, because of course, when you're awake, you're conscious. When you're asleep, you're unconscious. The unconscious mind is talking to you 24/7, even when you're asleep. Okay. Science has shown that this unconscious mind works like a supercomputer, and it does about an average of 1 million bits of information per second, whatever that is. Bits of information per second, million. Your conscious mind, when you're awake, can only do about 1,000 bits per second. That was an eye opener for me, because when I saw the science and my background, in case anyone out there don't know me, I do have a background in the science, electronics, engineering. My first majors was biochemistry. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a research scientist. So biology was one of my favorite things. Astronomy was another. So I was really into the science. So I still stay with the science, even though I'm doing business now. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that are still doing this full time. And the things they tell me is amazing. And they tell me this, that the unconscious mind, to keep you in the straight and narrow to its program, will lie to you, will justify everything it says, and it needs to be correct. It sounds like a simple program. It needs to be correct. That's going to do it one way. It will complain. It will explain. It will rationalize, justify. It will do whatever it takes to get you back to, where you are. Think of your unconscious mind as a loving, caring parent, which in many ways is far superior to your loving, caring parents, because it keeps you alive, and it will keep you alive long after your loving parents may, be long gone, or even your friends and families, your tribe. This thing, almost from birth, will stay with you the rest of your life, is geared towards your survival, your health, and your wealth. So just like loving parents, Mom, Dad, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be I was into counting, but I want to be a ballerina. Oh, and that's just from my point of view as a male. Or, I want to be an actor, when I was already going towards being a doctor, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. The parents may decide, no, that's not a good idea. It's not a guarantee. You can't make money off of it. Don't do it. That's stupid. You're making a mistake. You're going to ruin your life. You heard that before? So they're telling you things that sound negative in your mind. They almost sound unsupportive, but they're really attempting to keep you from making a mistake that they think you're going to make if you go in that direction. That's all they're doing. That's all the unconscious mind does. So it appears negative, and it will lie to you. And it will justify, and it needs to be right, and it will do whatever it takes to get you back. Oh, maybe I should take that new course and change my career direction. No, you shouldn't do that. Why shouldn't I do that? Because you don't have enough skill. You're not smart enough. You're too dumb. You're this, you're that, whatever. The more you resist, the nastier the verbiage comes in the self-talk. And it's this verbiage that the science has shown is the negative talking, the chatting. I'm talking for normal. I'm not talking about people who suffer from depression or multiple personality disorders. I'm talking about normal people having self-talk that's all negative, never supporting. It's your unconscious mind attempting to get you back to the program that you made it to do. So now, what are you going to do about that? Excuse me. You got all this negative thought, and you're trying to go forwards. Well, there's two ways to do it. There's two ways to do what? To retrain your brain. And that's through NLP or repetition. Those are really the only two ways, because basically that is how you created this program from day one. By repetition. You went to school, you learned your ABCs. How did you learn your ABCs? How did you learn to do any arithmetic problem or anything? You repeat it over and over and over, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, till you got it down straight. Most of us can't do the alphabet from Z to A because we will not train that way. But if you practice every day, you'll be surprised in a short period of time. If you start from the Z and keep going till you get to A, eventually you'll be able to say the alphabet backwards as well as forwards, because you just do it repetitiously, and it retrains the brain. Or some people use NLP, and there's many, many tools on using NLP. And for those of you who don't know what NLP is, neuro-linguistic programming, it's hypnosis basically. And as you apply hypnosis as you're growing up, kids especially, their brains are underdeveloped. They work on the hypnotic level, the below the alpha, the theta, the delta. They're working on that level where you are receptive to information. So these are the two ways. Whatever it takes, whoever you talk to, whatever coach, trainer you find that can show you how to do this, we specialize in it. That's how I do my business and my life. It's all about retraining your brain, because everything's a mindset. You have a program that's a mindset, and it says this is the way you're going to do it. At some point after 30, something changes and you need to go in another direction. You desire to go in another direction. And now this thing is trying to derail you for a good reason, because you programmed it to do one thing. You programmed it to be Windows 91. Now you want it to be the current Windows, and it doesn't accept the program until you delete Windows 91. Remember that one? That's an old one. And replace it with the updated version. You basically retraining the laptop, the PC you have. You do the same thing with the brain. You have to delete and replace with a new program. You cannot delete it and have a void, because the purpose of that program is to keep you alive. And it does this automatically, whether you're aware of it or not. Have any of you gone to work, get to work after getting up from bed, eating, showering, and not remember how you got there? You don't remember driving? You're on autopilot. What's that? That's the unconscious mind. Its purpose is to take care of you. So your other conscious self can focus on other things. Now we're getting to what the purpose of this video is. Let's say for you, you're out there, you're getting these negative thoughts, and now you understand this, that it's all it is a program that's running, that you're running against. You're not aligned with this program. Now, you don't want to align with it because it's not giving you, and it's not going in the direction you want to go. So we just need to reprogram it, train the brain. Two ways to do this is to first understand and be thoughtful that this process is happening. Whether you're awake or asleep, this process is 24/7. And since it's a better computer, unconscious mind, and I've seen, them with electrodes on volunteers and labs, and they're showing a person asleep as opposed to a person awake. It's amazing. The brain is more active when you're asleep or unconscious than you are when you're awake. It's like if you look at the brain's activity, as I'm talking to you right now, my brain looks, if it was wild up and looked on a monitor, it would look half asleep. When I go to bed and become unconscious and I'm in deep sleep, it looks like I'm wide awake. It's amazing. It's quite the opposite. So that's how the unconscious mind is doing. The conscious mind doesn't have a chance. 1,000 bits per second. How is it going to fight a machine that's doing 1,000,000 bits per second and doing it 24/7? We're only doing it so many hours while we're awake. It's through NLP or repetition. You start by first being thoughtful. You go through your day and you consciously stay aware when a negative thought comes in. When that negative thought comes in, you have to have a dialogue with it, as if you're talking to a child, because it is a child. It's only doing what it's told to do. You got to give it guidance. It's the parent. So you're going through the day and you say, well, I like to go back to school and learn a new trait or new this, new that, and you immediately pay attention, because it will come. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're not smart enough. You're not this and that. So then you start saying to it, wait a minute, that's not true. There's no such thing as an absolute. It's possible. Anything's possible, right? Isn't anything possible? At some point, the mind starts to grasp that you are telling it that it's okay to think a different way. And if you keep doing this, being just thoughtful, going every day, I've done this, so I know it works. And hearing myself going, well, you're not smart enough. Well, why not? What is smart enough? Explain smart enough. A lot of people with less intelligence than me, less skill sets than I, less education, less money, have done better, much, much better than I have. I can name a few. Go Google, get that list ready to prove it to the mind. And at some point, after I kept doing that, I never heard that voice anymore. I trained the brain to stop thinking that way. That was through repetition. Now, intention or intentionality, that is another way you can retrain your brain without making it hard for you. Intentionality basically means that you have made a decision in a direction you're going, and nothing's going to stop you, delay you, derail you, distract you, deflect you from that mission. You're going that direction at all costs, and it doesn't matter. That has to be a declaration, an intention in your mind. You may even say it every day. When I wanted to change or train my brain, I would make an intention of where I will be going, what I will be doing, how I will be feeling, et cetera, et cetera. The more details, the better. And I said, that's going to happen. Maybe I decided I'm going to make six figures, or I'm going to have more fun, or I'm going to take a better vacation, or I'm going to eat better, or lose weight. It's not necessarily goal setting. Don't get confused with goal setting. At the end of the year, we all have a new ideas, goals for the new year, on resolutions, and this is what I'm going to do. Goal setting, resolution, that's a different subject, that's a different topic. They don't work. And I can tell you why they don't work, because if they're not aligned with your intention, with your new training your brain alignment, they won't work. So you need to have a declaration in your mind. You have to, if you want, you can even write it down. I've done it. I get up every morning and I can say, this is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to go. And this is what's going to happen. And everything, all my actions and every result that comes from that is based on that aligned intention, that declaration of independence for myself. And it works. Another form of repetition. And later on in other videos, I'll show more examples of using NLP. But those, by just being thoughtful of your mindset, how it's talking to you, and continuously repeating over and over to it, if it doesn't agree with your new direction, letting it know it's okay. It will, in a short period of time. It could be anywhere from hours, days, weeks. Most I've ever seen is a couple months. If you do this every day for a couple months, you will never be able to go back to that old program. Your new program, your new brain trained method, process is all towards and geared towards a new future. Now, some people might say, well, if I have to do it a couple months, it's a long time. No, that isn't, because the program took you decades to get it to that level. What's a couple of months to reprogram it? Okay, you didn't know what you were doing back then, but now you're thoughtful. You're conscious for the first time that you are programming, you're training your brain, as opposed in the past when you were doing it unconsciously. Big difference. So being thoughtful means focusing on your mind chatter. If it's not aligned with your new direction, then that's when you start having a dialogue with it. I recommend you do this privately. You don't do this while you have the windows open in a car, or you're at work, or someplace where your family, friends, and spouse might bump into you, because one, they're going to distract you and it's going to kind of make the work much longer. And two, you don't want them to think you're a little crazy. So, and crazy is not bad, but you don't need people to be worried about you. So that's what it means by being thoughtful. Again, having an intention it's like a discipline that you create through repetition, and you keep saying it over and over. This is where I'm going. This is what I am. This is what I'm going to be. This is who I shall become. And those are nice words, but actually I use them in the wrong tense. I put them as in the future, like I will be something. I highly recommend you talk to yourself as if you've done it. I remember a Christian friend of mine who was telling me about how Jesus used to pray. He always prayed in the past tense, and then the miracle happened. Jesus, for you Christians out there, Jesus was trying to say that the best way to pray is to pray with gratitude, like it's already been done, and it happens. Master NLP practitioner, that carpenter from Nazareth. So we have to do the same. We have to talk in the present tense or past tense, even if you can use the dialogue that way, present or past, as if it's already happened. So the future you're going after, even though it doesn't exist, I am this, or I have been this. But I recommend try to stay in the present, because the other thing with the mind, you can't trick it. This is the last little freebie here. You can't trick it. You can't lie to it. So if you say to it a lie, it won't accept it. Like you're talking to a child, and the child suspects you're lying, they're not going to pay, and they're not going to abide by your will, your wish. So if you can say it like it's already happened and really believe it, then just say it as if it's already happening. You are that. Because just by focusing on who you wish to be, you are being that person right now. Doesn't matter if it's not taking place yet, it hasn't happened yet. The mind, the unconscious mind, does not know the difference between fantasy and reality. So if you say to it, I am great, it has to start to believe you. If you say it often and loud enough, it will believe you. If you say, I was great, it may not believe you. It might even use that against you. It's like, hey, you was, but you're not now, So try to keep it present unless you're 100% a believer that your mind is set. It already has done, so shall it be. So that's it for today. If you have any questions on anything I said today, please put it in the comment. I will get back to you sometime during the rest of the day. This is Angelus, your mindset coach. Train your brain. With that, I wish you all well. Have a great day, and thank you for seeing me today.